People in Gotham questioning the Robins. In this headcanon, some of the villains are aware that Batman is his father and some aren't. Penguin: why is the younger Robin? Why is he brown? Batman: the younger one? Batman looked at Damian, who was in his Robin suit and munching on a granola bar. The kid suddenly glanced at his own brown skin and gasped dramatically. Damian, jokingly: oh my God, I am. Sophia: he's funny. We respect the diversity. Batman: my oldest son is Romani. Sophia: really? Fascinating. Isn't that fascinating, Penguin? Penguin: I still think he gave the kid the suit to use him as target practice. But seriously, why is the current one brown? I'm not trying to be rude, but he looks the same age as the first Robin. Damian: awesome. I can't wait to tell Nightwing. Batman, annoyed: his mother is Arabic. When a white guy and an Arabic woman have a baby, a mixed child is born. Penguin: wait, Talia is brown? Batman sighed, pinching the bridge of his nose. Damian: how did you know about her? Sophia: I got nosy and found out you're related. Talia adores you so much, and your dad's lucky she hid any photos of what you both might look like. Seriously though, you hooked up with Talia and had a kid, Batman? I knew it would happen with her or Catwoman. Sophia laughed, which made Batman growl in offense. Damian: hooked up? Batman: he didn't need to hear that, but yes, he's my youngest son, and he's related to her. Penguin: now see, I forget sometimes that she's brown. I heard she was mixed with something, but never crossed my mind. Batman: her father is Ra's al Ghul. Penguin: wait, so he's brown? Batman: can you please stop saying brown? Damian: it's fine. I feel like I'm going to hear worse later in life. Sophia, sympathetic, her brows furrowing: oh, yeah. Batman: all right, we're going to leave now. Enjoy prison. Penguin: we'll both be out soon. We've just been curious about that for years. I almost reported you for kidnapping a little brown boy. Damian grabbed his father's arm, dragging him away before he could retaliate against the man. Damian: let it go. We've heard worse. Let it go.
Why don't the people of Gotham just move? Because it's a massive East Coast city, but the property values are probably like $200 a month for a 3-bedroom apartment, and most Gothamites are like, hey, Bane never swore to break my back. And here's the thing, you're not just moving out of Gotham City, you're moving into the rest of the DC universe, and it has hero-based power scaling. Oh, Metropolis looks fucking great. But it gets invaded by aliens and robots and demigods, because Superman is there. Wonder Woman's tangling with gods. You go to Central City, and some reverse Flash motherfucker runs backwards from an alternate future and kicks your balls off at the speed of light. You could move to the West Coast, and oh, an entire city just gets exploded by Cyborg Superman or some shit. How about you move to Indianapolis or Cleveland? Haha, no. They have no protector during the alien invasions, and you're in Cleveland, so stay in Gotham. Sure, you have lunatics, but you know that if you had a gun, you at least have a chance against the Joker or Riddler. Mongo of Warworld would crush you. But Gotham just has creeps, and you know you have a chance. Even Bane, Ra's al Ghul, Killer Croc, and Mr. Freeze are just slightly altered dudes. Oh no, Poison Ivy is going to kiss me to death. Who gives a shit? You kinda wanted to go out that way anyway. There are super intelligent telepathic guerrilla warlords in Africa, and the Greek titans are real and chained in the abyss.
Alfred always trusted the instincts that woke him in the middle of the night, even when the manor was quiet around him. He pulled on his dressing gown and headed for the kitchen, frowning even before he opened the door. You should be in bed, Master Bruce. Bruce looked up at him, one hand propping up his head, the other curled around a half-empty glass that Alfred could smell from the doorway. Couldn't sleep. That happens when you stay up until dawn 3 consecutive nights, Alfred said. He took the coffee press from its shelf and began a pot. The younger man was silent as it brewed and didn't stir when Alfred switched a steaming mug for his glass. Drink that all? Bruce said, after several long gulps of coffee. There's so much crime in Gotham, so much injustice. How can I fix all of it on my own? I'm glad you value my assistance, Master Bruce, said Alfred dryly. You know I didn't mean it like that, Bruce protested. But even with 2 of us, how can we do it? Alfred sat across from him with his own mug of coffee. The same way we do anything else, Master Bruce. One day at a time. The younger man snorted a laugh. Or one night at a time. That would be more applicable, in our case, Alfred agreed. We'll manage, Master Bruce. I know we will, Bruce said, and his smile was faint but genuine.
Headcanon that Jim Gordon used to think Dick's real name was just Robin. It's not an unusual name, honestly, and there's nothing particularly bird about his outfit, so Gordon thought nothing more about it when they first met. Gordon. Kid, this is a crime scene. Dick, hands on his hips, and no pants. My name is Robin. Gordon catches Batman's frown and assumes it's because Robin isn't being careful enough about his name. But time goes on, and no one finds out where the kid lives, so Gordon lets it slide. He's a cute kid, if a little intense, but it's fun to watch him grow up with Barbara. Yes, he knows about Batgirl. Yes, he chewed Batman out for it, but decided to ultimately ignore it like everything else. But then a new Robin comes in. This is a kid again, not a full adult like he was a year ago. Gordon. Hey, Batman? What happened to Robin? Batman. This is Robin. He sounds so unbothered, like he doesn't realize this is a completely different kid. Gordon's concern for this half-mad vigilante skyrockets. Batman has convinced himself that this kid is the same as the first. He's going through it, and the mental gymnastics are more than Gordon can take. So, he lets it go. But then that Robin disappears and Batman's acting up. Nightwing shows up a few times and it never really helps things. Gordon's getting more headaches than smoke breaks, and at this point he's really to pull the plug on this whole Bat business. But then Robin comes back again, and Gordon's has it. He confronts this kid, fully prepared to push through whatever gaslighting's been happening, only for Tim to look at him like he's stupid. Gordon. Kid, who are you really? Because the Robin I met graduated college years ago and the one after that is dead. Tim, with the most judgmental look physically possible. Commissioner. Robin's my hero name. Gordon. Your hero name? Tim. Yeah, I'm Robin, like the bird. Batman and Robin. Heroes. Why would I go around using my real name? That would be stupid and dangerous. And Gordon has to call off for the rest of the day. He's so pissed.
Suddenly struck with thoughts about the devastating concept of Jason Todd because he was good, because he had a bleeding heart despite every reason not to. He loved school and was good at it. He was the first to be adopted with little pretense of guardianship. He did everything he could to be a perfect Robin and live up to an impossible ideal. He only ever wanted Bruce and Dick to like him. Because he met Bruce in the same place, and on the same day that Bruce's parents died, the single defining moment of Batman's existence. And he made Batman laugh. He hit the Dark Knight, terror of Gotham, with a tire iron. He wasn't afraid of the man who turned fear into a weapon, because he couldn't save his mother from herself, but he tried. Because he was too good not to try and save the woman who gave him up. Too good to play the Joker's game. The crowbar didn't kill him. The bomb did. He died knowing he wouldn't make it and tried anyway. He died a hero, because other Robins have died, but none of them put an irrevocable tear in the mythos of Batman. Because Jason Todd always dies, in every universe. He dies for the sins of his father. He was put to death by popular vote, sacrificed by the crowd, doomed by the narrative and doomed by the audience. The boy who only ever tried to prove he was good enough, wasn't good enough. Jim, you know Bruce? Batman. I am in my costume right now. Call me by my hero name and stop smoking. Batman swiped away the cigarette and tossed it on the ground. Jim, pulling out another cigarette. Batman, you've had 5 Robins. I have no idea why the girl was the shortest. I liked her. But I'm curious, which one of them is your favorite? Batman. I should be angry at that question, but none of them are here. Okay, I have a list and I rank them by skill set. Jim. Explain. Batman. The smartest Robin would be Red Robin. The best fighter? That's the second Robin. Jim. Really? I thought you would say the first one. Batman. No. Nightwing became a good fighter eventually, mostly when he started his own hero stuff. He's better at manipulation and flexibility. Nightwing, on the comms. I freaking called it. Batman groaned, slapping a hand over his eyes. Jim chuckled. Jim, your earpiece thing was accidentally on? Batman. Red Hood, on the comms. I was your best fighter? I told you that my fighting style was necessary. I'm going to give you an actually good gift for Christmas this year. Red Robin. I'm the smart one. I'll take it. Robin. I didn't get mentioned at all. Jim. They're arguing over each other? Batman. Yep. Can I call it a night and just get coffee with you? Jim, shrugging. Yeah, sure. There comes a time when the criminals prefer being taken in by Batman because his kids go a little overboard. Goon. You won't kill me. Cass. You ready to bet your life on that? Duke. Tosses her the gun they took off the guy. I would do what she says. Random thug. Hey, Batman doesn't kill? Damian. Not like he's here. You're certainly not going to be able to tell him. Tim. Well, accidents do happen. Shame. Starts to let go of the rope. Guy dangling off the building. No, okay, I'll tell you. Steph. Clears throat. Gang members. We surrender. Multiple guns fall to the ground. Steph. I see my reputation precedes me. Wise choice. Bruce gets chewed out by Gordon by the bat signal because the rumors have spread so much, it kind of sounds like Batman's kids have been going around murdering people. Bruce. In my defense, it's only one of them. Gordon. What? Bruce. Realizes he never filled Gordon in on Red Hood.
Tim Drake would be mom-coded. If he had his clone baby daughter or son, I am a big believer in a young Justice baby, aka clone child of Khan, Bart, Cassie, and Tim. 3 dads, 1 mom. Kids so powerful and ruthless, but would fold in a second if mom asked you don't fight your mom. Tim's child, one of the only one that actually listens. Dick's and Jason's are absolute terrors. Damian's kid also listens because Damian only has to raise an eyebrow. And it's Baba. What can I do? How can I fix this? A kid raised at Tim's heel, who know just how powerful dad mom can be, and wanting to be just like him. Dressing in little suits the first time they actually fly or run at the speed of light, they get sad, because how can they be a bat like mama? Oh, sweetheart, you will be something greater because you're you. I need this child to be the absolute clingiest thing ever when it comes to Tim, but Tim also can never say no, which is why there is an actual goddamn pony on the Drake estate. Also, I need this child to be besties with their cousins. You will never find one without the other. Tim wondering how the hell he got 4 kids. Cue Jason, Damian, and Dick searching far and wide for their children, only to discover they decided to follow their Uncle Tim to the office because, hello, they got to get ready to take over one day. So what if they are 10, 8, 6, and 4 respectively? Also low-key, I want Tim to have a daughter so badly. I just feel like he would be so good with the little girl, and also the sweetness of her wanting of be just like him. I feel like Jason would name his daughter Catherine, but if it was a son, I feel like low-key he would want to name them Perseus because, hello, he didn't get the Greek hero good ending, but his son will Dick after his mom and dad no hesitation. Imagine Tim's daughter becomes Batman after Aunt Cass OMG. The inherent sadness, as the only female Batmans are the ones to never lose a Robin.
Batman, what's the situation? Commissioner Gordon. Harley and Ivy have hijacked an AM radio station and taken the employees hostage. Batman. What are their demands? Commissioner Gordon. They haven't issued any. Batman. Commissioner Gordon turns on the radio. Harley. You gotta walk away, sweetie. His family sounds completely toxic, if not outright emotionally abusive, and he's too enmeshed to see it. Caller. No, you're right. You're right. I gotta do it. Harley. You got this, honey. Now, stay on the line a minute. I'm writing down the names of some books for you, and you can get those from Ivy after we're done. Okay? Our next caller. Commissioner Gordon turns off the radio. Batman. What station is this? Commissioner Gordon. WGTM Batman. The one that rebroadcasts Rush Limbaugh? Commissioner Gordon. Batman. Commissioner Gordon. You know what? I probably didn't need to call you for this. Dick walking into the Batcave with clenched fists, Dick under his breath. I love my family. I love my family. I love my family. I love my family. Tim and Damian standing awkwardly next to each other. Tim. So don't be mad, Dick. I scheduled this day of 2.5 years ago. You know what it's like scheduling a day off 2.5 years before you take it? I had Raven check auspicious calendar dates. Damien. Couldn't? You have taken one earlier. Dick pulling an A5, 500-page notebook miraculously out his suit. Let's see, why didn't I think of that? Maybe it's because I'm booked and busy every day of my life? My Google Calendar looks like lights flashing at a rave. Dick. So you have 25 minutes before I call Corey to pick me up if it takes longer than that, call Clark or Jason Tim. Well, that's kind of the problem, Dick. 24 minutes? Tim. Whoop, that wasn't a minute, Dick. Give me the Cliff Notes or I make it 10 mins. Tim very quickly. Red Hood and Superman have both been mind-controlled, but no one knew about Jason being also brainwashed. So Bruce thought he fell off the wagon and is torturing Superman and is going after Jason right now, and he won't answer any communications from us and has barricaded us inside the house. If you come in, you can't leave, and we really don't know what to do here because Bruce probably won't believe us. Damien? Also, Alfred is on vacation, and you're the only one allowed to cook in his kitchen. So if we are all trapped here, I'd rather like to eat something that isn't one of Timothy's creations. Tim. Okay. Boiling the pasta in 2 cans of Monster was a thought experiment. I didn't eat it, Damien. I saw you eat and fit, Tim, one time to test my theory. Damien. What possible theory could you be testing? Tim. Whether Monster Enegri cooks pasta. Are you listening? You gotta try it for quality contra Dick. Shut up, both of you. If I get you out of the house and help you taking all of them down, none of you can call me until the world is ending or someone is dying. Tim. Deal, Damien. I suppose. Bruce finds Tim in front of the huge computer in the cave, crying. He's still wearing the Robin suit. There are various scenes on the screen. Old feeds. They all have images of Superboy in them. Robin, he says. Tim moves a little, like he might have heard, but he doesn't answer. Bruce puts one hand on his shoulder. Tim reaches up automatically and holds onto Bruce's hand. His own hand is shaking. Bruce kneels next to him, moving his hand to let his arm wrap around the boy's shoulders. He turns the chair to face him. Tim lets himself be pulled into Batman's arms. I've got you, Batman tells him. Words he said to Tim on countless occasions. Words he said to Dick over the years. Words he once told Jason's already cold body. I've got you. Batman, Tim says. Bruce can hear in his tone that he's trying desperately to stop crying. He didn't want anyone to see him like this. He never does. It's okay, Robin. Don't leave me alone anymore, Tim whispers, before he can stop himself. His arms find their way around Bruce's neck, and he all but clings to him. I'd never leave you alone, Tim, Bruce says in Batman's voice. Tim can't manage to answer. Bruce lets him cry and just holds him. Bruce thinks briefly of all the things that Tim has lost because of this. Because of him. Spoiler. His father. And now, Superboy. Although even Batman has to admit that Superboy's death isn't his fault, no more than Kid Flash's disappearance was. But he can't help but feel responsible for Tim. Tim is more than just his sidekick. Tim is his partner. And maybe even more than that. He hopes that this time, when he makes the offer of adoption, Tim will accept it.
Damien is not above using his status as baby to get what he wants. At the same time, the Bats know that their littlest family member using his power, rare though it may be, is a sign of affection. Nobody says anything because Damien, feeling comfortable enough to act his age, even if it is a manipulation tactic, means he trusts them. Also, it's f***ing adorable. Bruce is a man of principles and discipline, but he's ready to shave his head and steal Lex Luthor's identity. No questions asked when Damien silently crawls into his lap. He was on a shareholders video conference the first time the boy did it. No amount of money, notoriety, or achievements will ever compare to Damien laying his head on his father's chest, sighing quietly, and closing his eyes peacefully as board members oohed and awed. Screenshots went viral almost immediately. Baby Wayne trended for weeks. Bruce booked them a trip to Chicago to see the new tiger exhibit at the zoo that Damien had mentioned over breakfast. He absolutely knew he'd been had, and oh, well. Then Damien does it again, and again with no ask beforehand. When Bruce finally asked what was going on, the littlest Wayne said he was cold and simply required a heat source. Bruce pressed a kiss to his boy's hair and read the quarterly reports over his head, and then took him out for new art supplies, and got him a pet lizard and some ice cream. And yes, Alfred, I have a problem, but look at him.
Titus was missing. Nobody had left the doors often, and not one of them had seen the dog escape. It wasn't anyone's fault. But in Damien's eyes, everybody's. Damien had been more exhausting than normally. He had bothered Stephanie and Tim the whole afternoon and nearly made Barbara cry, who currently had to deal with her father's death. He didn't listen to Bruce nor Dick when they tried to get him to apologize and stop acting like that, and they all pretty much had it. The only one that kept quiet and ignored all of Damien's attempts to annoy or talk to her had been Cassandra, who now stood up and walked towards him. Everything went silent as both of them stared at each other, Cassandra towering over the boy who stayed where he was while most people would have taken a run for it. She spoke up, slowly and carefully, choosing her words, but intimidating nevertheless. "I think we need to talk." Without waiting for his response, she grabbed his arm and mercilessly pulled the protesting and hissing 10-year-old to her room. Alfred made them coffee and tea, and light conversation started, but nobody left the room. Bruce looked at the clock and noted concerned that it had been a full 20 minutes since they had disappeared. The joke Dick had just made ended in awkward laughter, and then, 7 minutes after that, they came back. Damien's eyes were wide, and he looked shaken and on the edge of tears, or as if he had just cried. They couldn't quite tell. If anybody would have asked him, he would have just denied crying at all. Cassandra's face was relaxed, her expression almost neutral, besides a hint of expectation. The silence was back and remained. Until... "I'm sorry." Damien turned his head away, but it was directed at them all and they knew it. Dick almost choked on his drink. No one ever got to know what happened. Neither Damien nor Cassandra would talk, and most of the time she just needed to smile at him and he would leave her alone. Actually avoided her for months after that. The family members made up their own theories, and Cassandra let them, amused by the weird stories they came up with, but nothing ever came even close to what actually happened. Bruce glanced up from his notes at the harsh slam of the front door. Tim strode into the room a moment later, already working his tie off and tossing a thin briefcase onto the nearest couch. "You look like you had a great day," Bruce commented dryly, watching his third son drop heavily beside him with a sigh. "It was great, fantastic. Let's do it again." Tim leaned back against the couch cushions, closing his eyes tiredly. "What happened?" I fired a few people, hired some, wanted to stab a couple with a pen. What's new?" Bruce snorted in amusement, reaching out to pat Tim's shoulder sympathetically. "I'm gonna take a vacation, Bruce. A long one, as in forever." "Sure, Tim." Bruce found it easiest to go along with Tim when he got like this, simply appease him until he slept it off. "I was thinking Paris. Actually, that might not be far enough. Hey, I can surprise Cass. Hong Kong is nice this time of year." "I'll stay for like 3 weeks." "Okay. Wait, what about patrol? Who'll take my route?" "We'll figure it out. Just don't give it to Damien, or Jason. They'll do... something." "I won't." Tim lifted his head, offering a relived smile. "Thanks, B." Bruce shook his head fondly as Tim leaned against him, curling an arm around the teen. "I'll make arrangements later. I'm tired." "Why don't you go upstairs and..." Tim shook his head, slumping further against Bruce's side. "Nah, I'm good. Go back to whatever you were doing." "Don't you want to sleep?" "Of course I do. Get comfy, Bruce. I'm not moving." "Really, Tim?" "Yeah, really. Hush now. Sleeping." Tim can do a death metal scream, and if his family annoys him enough, or if he can't sleep or focus because of them, he'll wait till they're all in a room together and screams bloody murder and watch as they all get into a fighting stance while looking equal parts terrified. It gets better when he does it with YJ, and they all start listening more because they hate the scream. Lobo loves it though, and does it with him, and they have scream-offs. To make it even better, he acts like he doesn't know who did it with the bats and continues to do so until Dick walks in on him having a scream off with Lobo and clocks him. "You're the one doing the scream." "What? No? Why would you think that?" Dick is absolutely baffled, and Tim has to contain his laughter. Once the rest of the family finds out, our best boy Duke asks him to sing King for a Day like the cultured baby he is. And another thing, I just had a thought of Tim being captured by whoever, really. Honestly, the circumstances are not important. I had a thought of Tim in danger, and he shouts for Jason, not Hood, Jason. And he knows he can use Jason's name because when he gets here, all these people are fucking dead. And I'm just picturing Bruce being on his way to help Tim, and all he can hear is Tim screaming for Jason. He's about to drop down and take care of business, and then shots ring out. Bang, bang, bang. He looks again, and all 3 kidnappers are dead. Tim is untied, and Jason is holding Tim to his chest. "It's okay," he mutters. "I'm here. I gotcha." Tim would never dream of outing Bruce or Dick, or even Damien. There'd be someone around to hear it. But Jason? When Tim is in danger, Jason never leaves survivors. Dama Jon soulmate where whatever you write on your skin, it shows up on your soulmate's skin. Damien keeps his arms covered, mostly to keep people away from asking about his scars. John, on the other hand, likes to wear shirts and shorts. Damien notices that John's doodles and notes shares the ones on his arm. John notices him staring. "I like to leave little notes for my soulmate. A little something to brighten his day." Damien knows. It's his little secret that he'll trace over the writing on his wrist with his finger, safe under the covers of his bed. "Do you have a soulmate? Enough dawdling, let's get ready for patrol." John assumes that Damien's soulmate is a touchy subject. He struggles to not run up to Damien to show the little cat his soulmate doodled next to his note just a couple weeks later. John is elated when the doodles become more and more frequent. Usually little animals, sometimes abstract swirls. It doesn't matter. He takes pictures of every one. As they grow, John struggles with his developing crush on Damien and his soulmate. He's sure that Damien isn't his soulmate, since Damien has seen the doodles plenty, and why wouldn't he tell John he's his soulmate? Damien doesn't want to see the disappointment on John's face. The chance that John would insist that it was a platonic match, and Damien would have to bite his tongue until the grave. One day, during a mission, Damien gets hit the chest bad. John takes off his shirt to take a good look at the wound and notices the markings. So many emotions fill him, but mainly panic that he might not only lose his best friend, but also his soulmate. Damien lives, but John is upset with him for keeping the fact that they're soulmates from him. They make up eventually. LOL.
There is a sort of trope that I've noticed in DC media where Batman is infinitely stranger from anyone else's perspective than his own. In his own comics and movies and such, his motives are explained to you. You have his inner monologue. But the moment you put him in someone else's story, you're met with a general vibe of, fuck is wrong with that man? Is that a man? Might be a demon. And this 100% extends to the Bat-Kids. Dick, the man has no bones. From an outside perspective, he leaps before he looks, grinning and laughing as he backflips off buildings with seemingly no plan, only to catch himself with a grapple at the last minute. He's charming and warm until he can't be, and then he's terrifying, with a glare and temper that rivals the Bats. Jason, he has deadly aim and a steady hand. He's hulking and strong, but he's also silent. He still moves like a bat, like he was taught to in his Robin days. Despite the fact that he's taller and broader than Bruce now, the Red Hood could appear out of the shadows behind you, no matter how safe you are, and you wouldn't be able to do anything to stop it. Tim, he's smart. They're all smart, but he's smart, and his ethics and intelligence don't always mesh. He could tear down any security system with frightening efficiency, then rebuild it better. Logically, he's always 5 steps ahead. Damien, he's the most obviously terrifying. He's small and angry, and he has a sword that he knows how to use with frightening efficiency. He's as viscous as his father can be, but with a temper that more unchecked. He learned how to kill before he learned how to protect. Duke, Cass, and Steph also fall under this, but I don't know enough about them to make accurate judgments. Anyway, what I'm saying is the Rogues and the Justice League alike fear the Bats, and for good reason. Martha Wayne always called the people she loved my dear, and things along this line. Bruce grew up hearing his mother say it to his father and Alfred all the time, and Martha almost never called him Bruce with the amount of cutesy pet names she called him, but my dear has always had a special place in his heart. It's what connected all of them together. So whoever any of his kids gets sick, hurt, or is vulnerable, he'll use it in order to silently say that he loves them very deeply. It's like when Bruce calls them sweetheart, which is the best thing ever to exist. My dear, you must finish all your medicine. Yes, my dear. I know you're cold, but you can't have that many blankets. Do you need more tissues, my dear? It seems as though you're running out. Hang on, sweetheart. Alfred has made you some soup in order to get better. You want me to feed you? Of course, my dear. Let me check your stitches, my dear. You did a wonderful job, my dear. Do not beat yourself up. I have seen a lot of fics about the Justice League finding out Bruce has kids and being shocked about it. But what about the other way around? Like, imagine Dick ghosting Bruce and ignoring everything related to Batman for 6 months after an argument, and the day he finally decides to visit to make amends, he finds fucking Superman chilling on his kitchen. Or like Jason coming back from the dead, ready to fuck shit up just to get whiplash after finding out that his loser dad has friends and one of them is Wonder Woman.
Silly little headcanon that, as Robin, each of the Batboys were trained to go limp when being lifted from areas of danger, sort of like how kittens go limp when mother cats grab the scruff of their neck. It just makes so it's easier when Batman to grab him from a particularly dangerous area. I imagine that even after his Robin days, Nightwing still has going limp trained into him. One time, when he and Starfire were in a particularly dangerous battle and cornered by a cliff edge, Starfire grabs hold of him and he just limp. Starfire assumes something has happened to him and panics, but finds that Nightwing is fine. He's a bit embarrassed, seeing that he still has his Robin training instilled deeply within him somewhere. But where it gets even funnier is with Jason. As Robin, it's always a little cute to see Batman grab him by the scruff of his neck, and to see the small child go limp and get carried off into safety. But when Batman and Red Hood get into disagreements during the rare missions that they do come together to take down a common threat, seeing a grown 6'0" man going limp and then realizing he did so is miraculously laughable. Tim doesn't let him forget about his Robin habits only to get grabbed and go limp as well. Master Bruce, I'm surprised you've managed to gain a toothache. I have forbidden you to eat too many sweets, but you always surprise me. Alfred lightly scolded as he watched Bruce hold an ice pack to his face. Too many things cause toothaches, and Alfred knew that, but Bruce never had a record for tooth grinding or braces. The boy was only 8. Not even reckless eating of large portions of processed sugar. Alfred could never be too sure. It still hurts, Alfred. Bruce stated for the 3rd time, his cheek red and partly numb from the clinging ice. Alfred had tried everything to get it to stop hurting. Medicine, ice, salt water. But Bruce refused that option. Alfred couldn't blame Bruce for that. It wasn't pleasant to have pure salt mixed with water in your mouth without accidentally swallowing some. I'm aware, Master Bruce. Alfred was trying to list things atop his head that wouldn't shy Bruce away as his taste palate wasn't forced to age. Peppermint tea sounded lovely, and it was beneficial to calming down an irritated tooth. From what Alfred remembered, there had been no complaints about peppermint or tea. How does peppermint tea sound, young sir? A smile found Alfred's face as Bruce nodded in response. It was difficult to stay mad at Bruce. In a way, it felt cruel, but Alfred couldn't place it anywhere. Bruce, Commissioner Gordon, I wasn't expecting a visit this late. Gordon, my apologies, Bruce. There are some things that I need to talk to you about regarding the Wilson case. Bruce, no apologies needed, Commissioner. Please, have a seat. Would you like a cup of tea? Gordon, tea would be... Bruce? Gordon. Bruce. Commissioner? Gordon. Bruce. Commissioner Gordon, is everything all right? Gordon. Bruce, there's a ghost floating down your hallway. Bruce. Turns to see a sleeping Clark floating horizontally out of his bedroom, wrapped up in his blanket. Bruce. Oh, that's just my great-great-granduncle Tom. He's always haunting this hallway on Thursdays. It's his weekly chess game, and he never got over that one loss. Poor Uncle Tom. Gordon. Bruce. Alfred, why don't you go and see if Uncle Tom can be persuaded to haunt another hallway instead? Alfred. Right away, Master Bruce.
I've hinted at it in other posts I've made, but the idea that Danny is just a little too non-human for people's comfort is a headcanon I love. Which is half the reason he ends up in Gotham. Gotham is cursed. Like full on, cursed the land the city was built on. It's embedded in the brick and mortar of the buildings. Cursed. But it leaves all Gothamites with a certain level of tolerability. So Danny, who had the police called on him 5 different times during a college visit in Metropolis because he was just a little too uncanny and everyone felt a certain degree of uncomfortable around him, learned that Gothamites still pick up on the uncanny, but they can ignore it. At most he kinda gets side-eyed when he passes by, but most of Gotham gives off an odd vibe so they take it at face value and move on. Danny is not a registered rogue and is also not actively holding them up and they have better places to be. That doesn't mean it's always ignored though. After Danny is admitted to the aerospace engineering program at Gotham U, a Twitter account pops up that's just called Local GU Cryptid Sightings. It's just pictures of Danny sleeping in the weirdest fucking places or security footage of him that keeps bugging out because they learn that they can't take pictures of the kid without the footage going a little buggy. The students in Danny's cohort use the account to gauge Danny's sanity level. They were not afraid to ask what was up with him, and instead of saying he's a ghost he admitted to essentially living above a radioactive portal that contaminated him. His eyes glow and he has sharper teeth and ears. Also digital, anything cannot capture his likeness. And this was fascinating to them. They started doing some research because they wanted to know why some images had more distortion than others. Turns out the more tired Danny is, the more distorted the photo becomes. So every now and then you'll see someone snap a photo of Danny and be like, "Go home." They refer to it as Danny's sanity level because one time he started laughing so hard they thought he's been gassed, but turns out he hadn't slept in a week. Still, it's sort of become a game. Like how there are accounts that post pictures of the campus squirrels. It's just that but with absurd Danny sightings. Someone caught him asleep in a tree once. No one knows how he got up there, but he was sleeping against a gargoyle in the middle of the night and for the life of them they couldn't figure out why he wouldn't just go home. He likes sleeping under the stars sometimes, even if he can't see them through the smog. A teacher sent a student to retrieve something from storage. Danny was also down there, and can apparently see in the dark since said student turned the corner to a dark hall and glowing green eyes. Jesus, Danny, you scared the shit out of me. Now don't move. I need proof this happened or no one will believe me. It's all pretty harmless. The first time Danny gets caught up in a Rouge attack, his teenage vigilante instincts kick in and he decks the leader in the face, knocking him out cold. Bruce is concerned because footage of the fight is distorted, but both Jason and Tim take one look and laugh. It's just Danny. We already vetted him. He's good. Remember the GCPD's request about that kid who disarmed a bomb and disappeared? That was Danny. He was tired and likes to cannibalize machines for his projects. Danny not a born Gothamite, but he certainly feels like one, so they accept him into the fold easily enough. Jason and Dick look so much alike during their Robin days that they get confused who was the Robin in certain photos. They literally can't tell each other apart, and the fact they have been fighting almost the same lineup of rogues is even more confusing, so their experiences end up mixed up a lot. Jason. No, that was me. Did you read my reports and is confusing them with the real thing? Dick. I'm 100% sure that was me. Maybe you're the one who is misremembering. You used to read my reports all the time. Jason. So you're just gonna act like I'm fucking lying? I have 4K memory of that day. That was literally me. Get out of here with her Pinocchio-looking ass. Dick. You're the one remembering things wrong. I got 17 years of career. I know that was me. The whole time, the Riddler was running low on funds and used the same strategy twice, hoping nobody would notice. Tim knows the truth. He has read both reports, but he thinks it's funny to see them argue. Tim Drake is the only one who can reliably tell them apart with a 97% accuracy due to his BatClan stalker days, a fact that not everyone is aware of. Bruce, Alfred and Barb know, having both been there and seen the frightening abilities of Tiny Tot Tim. Jason and Dick are aware to an extent but haven't thought about it too much beyond Tim had an intense fan phase when he was younger. And due to one instance of Damien snooping around and finding some old photos he knows now too, not that he ever brings it up, to him that's just normal kid hobby. And of course Tim himself would rather watch Jason and Dick argue than divulge any info.
Brucey Wayne, mid-speech. Hello everyone, welcome to tonight's charity gala, so glad to have you here. Damien interrupting said speech. Father Jason is attempting to do a backflip off the roof because Richard Triple Dog dared him, Bruce, voice dropping 5 octaves. I thought I told Dick to stop with the dares. Bruce pretending he's drunk at every minor non-vigilantism-related inconvenience is my Roman Empire. Bruce, voice dropping 5 octaves. I thought I told Dick to stop with the dares beep boop. I look for accidental haiku posts. Sometimes I mess up. I'm imagining Wayne's guests are somewhat used to this by now. It's literally only the new people who are very confused. Everyone else is like, yeah, Dick used to swing from the chandeliers. He did it 2 galas ago. He'll probably do it again next time. Bruce is an idiot except when it comes to his children's safety. That's where he poured all of his brain cells into. Damien, I told him you told him that, but he said, I am a grown man who can triple dog dare anyone I want. Then upped it to quadruple. Dick in the distance. Ugh! Damien. Silence, Richard. Anyway, father, I thought you should know. Bruce. Runs hands down face exhaustedly. Thank you, Damien.
Bruce is a chronic napper. He loves taking naps. Go into his study, the library, the indoor pool. Doesn't matter. He'll find some place to take a quick nap. As funny as the whole dad snore headcanon is, I think Bruce is a quiet and light sleeper. You won't even notice he's in the room as he naps. Over the years, the Bat family has gotten pretty good at guessing where he's napping. If they aren't tracking him down for a particular reason, it's mostly to nap with him. Damien loves curling up on his father's chest, looking like a cute kitten, but he resents that, so don't say anything. He says he's just protecting Bruce's vital organs, but no one believes him. They have the same sleeping face, and it's adorable. Dick also loves curling up on Bruce's chest. Thank the Lord Bruce is still significantly bigger than him. It always reminds him of when it was just the two of them, back when he was smaller and Bruce could still protect him against the world. Jason can no longer curl up on Bruce's chest, so he settles for nestling himself in Bruce's side. He always tells himself that he'll be out before Bruce wakes up, but he always falls asleep. And the next thing he knows, Bruce has his arm wrapped around him and he can't escape. Not that he wants to. Tim likes to finish up easy cases right next to Bruce. Despite their turbulent time working together as Batman and Robin, he still finds a lot of comfort in Bruce. He can breeze through the easy cases and then shut his eyes for a bit with his dad. Cass is always there. When she gets there, no one knows. But she always brings a blanket, so it's much appreciated. She's the one that naps with Bruce the most, other than Ace. Alfred likes to sit and just watch Bruce breathe. It's comforting to know that he's still alive after years of close calls.
Can you keep a secret? These are the words young Dick Grayson remembers his mother say before she leaps across the abyss in between the two platforms and lands as softly as a bird on the other. He is calling to her with Romanian words of adoration spewing from his mouth. He knows her secret. She has the wings of an angel. Can you keep a secret? These are the words he hears the shadows whisper when tears continue spilling down his face and his heart refuses to stop beating. He sees the giant demon kneel down and place a tender hand on his shuddering shoulder before pulling back his mask to reveal two blue eyes just like his. He follows his protector home with another secret buried. He knows who the Batman is. Older now, Dick Grayson looks in the mirror. His face covered with shades of pink, purple, and red, with his body bandaged so much he could only see white. He was 12 and ready to soar through the night sky again. Can you keep a secret? He whispers to his mask before closing his eyes and opening them with renewed vigor. He was born again as Robin. Can you keep a secret? Two innocent eyes shine at him while he stares on in horror. His suit, his symbol, his purpose given to a child no older than he was when he donned it. He knows he was replaceable. Can you keep a secret? He hears Batman whisper to Alfred while he is on a mission. He hasn't visited much since he quit, and the betrayal of his symbol still stings. But when he returns, the house is gray, the rooms are quiet, and there's a newly dig spot in the garden. He knows Jason is dead. Bruce Wayne had remembered a time his father had asked him something. At the time, Thomas Wayne's question seemed trivial to the 10-year-old, even now when Bruce had children of his own. His father's words echoes in Batman's mind. Why do we fall Bruce? The day Bruce had discovered Damien's existence, he wasn't sure what to make of the boy. Damian Wayne, while his son, was a trained assassin. That alone stood against everything that the Dark Knight stood for. But Damian was still his son, his partner, his Robin. The last flesh and blood family member that Bruce had left. He was determined to help Damian go down the right path. Again his father asked him, "Why do we fall Bruce?" He thought of Jason, finding his body, broken, damaged beyond repair under rubble and glass. Bruce scrambled through the city as if a bat out of hell, searching for Morgan and his stolen son. He blamed himself for the most part. He never treated Robin like his partner, never treated Damian like his son. He had tried to keep Damian in the dark for his own good, and like most of his attempts to get closer to the child, it backfired. Why do we fall, Bruce? The next sound you hear is me fracturing Damien's fingers, Morgan taunted as he spoke to Batman. The father's teeth clenched, his anger rising. It was like Jason all over again. But this would have a different ending. Bruce would not fail his children again. Why do we fall, Bruce? For the longest time, 10-year-old Bruce Wayne could not answer. Now 10-year-old Bruce Wayne was dead, buried with his family after being gunned down by a man named Joe Chill. However, a bat had resurrected in his place. A dark knight raised for vengeance. A dark knight to stop any other 10-year-old boy from losing his parents ever again. It took him years, but finally Bruce could answer his father's question. You try to kill my son and you expect to live? His rage and worry apparent, Batman made no effort to conceal it. So we can pick ourselves back up. The Bat family is going on a holiday to Bruce's private island in the Pacific. Alfred: No, you shall not take the bolas, Master Bruce. Alfred: Nor the katanas. Alfred: Nor the smoke bombs. Alfred: Nor the grappling hook. Alfred: I cannot imagine what use you will have for a fingerprint kit. Bruce, whiny. What can I take, Alfred? Alfred, clothes. Bruce packs the bat suit. Alfred, disapproving. Do you still wonder where Master Damien gets his penchant for mischief? He is his father's son. Bruce removes the bat suit sulkily. Bruce: What am I supposed to do on this vacation, Alf? Alfred: Read, soak in the sun, cook outdoors, go deep sea diving with your family, be a good father. Bruce: Without crime? How am I supposed to parent them without any crime? Alfred: The same way the rest of the world does it, I suppose. Home has always been a difficult thing for any of the bats. Every home they have known ripped from them or tarnished with pain and anger. Wayne Manor especially covered in a father's grief and then covered in the child's. Yet every bat boy still remembers their favorite spot or where their adoption papers were signed, the time their brother did this or that. Every Thanksgiving or holiday can find even the blackest of sheep sitting at the table that Alfred carefully decorates. On awful nights, a hand ready to stitch or hold. Medicine cabinets stocked beds freshly made. Bills carefully hidden by the eldest bird taken care of. Even ammo ordered and placed where Jason can find. Wayne Manor will always be waiting their father, waiting for the day his children wish to come back. They may be furious, they might rather hit than talk, but their father will wait gloves on his hands for whatever his children decide to dish out. There will always be a home, food on the table, and a roof overhead, an ear willing to listen for any bird that decides to come back to the nest. For any bird needing anything, no wish, want, or need too high. I think the Bat family knows how to cook. It's a useful life skill after all, but they all have their own ways of doing it. Bruce only knows a few complicated dishes, and he does them well. He knows the favorite recipe of each of his kids, and he knows the family recipe he and his parents would make together when he was a child. Dick does things quick and dirty in one pan. He knows the best way to heat up leftovers and have them taste equal or better than they did fresh. Jason adds rich flavor to everything, knows exactly what flavors go with what, and how to balance them. He's the best home cook and can make a good meal with limited ingredients. Tim is the best at following recipes to a T, but can do a little improvisation if needed, or tweak a recipe to fit his expensive tastes. And he loves using cooking wine. Steph is an experimentalist. She throws things together with little regard to anything, and it somehow turns out tasty. Sometimes she takes her food experiments to a chemical level. Cass is excellent at making healthy, protein-rich foods that fill you up and last you longer. Her cooking is always the best to have before a long fight. Damien is new to cooking, but his knife skills are impeccable. Everything is cut to the perfect shape, any shape he pleases. An apple as a bird or any other fun one. And he excels at making vegetarian tweaks to dishes. The Bat family can cook, but they also get distracted. Talking about case details, making fun of small mistakes from patrol or training. Little things they get caught up in that distract from stirring or watching the time until the smell of burning wafts through the house and Alfred is on the way to salvage what he can. Yes, Bruce Wayne wears long, thick wool coats, always black, because that's what old money does. It's what his parents wore, like that post about Martha's coat being an inspiration for Batman's cape. and I'm sure for other reasons. But also, a ankle-length, thick 100% wool coat can hide so many things. Weapons, duh. Kevlar vest/bulletproof vests. This is actually what a lot of politicians do on outdoor campaign stops. Recording devices or other gadgets, you could hide an infinite number in a large man's coat, secret pockets in the lining, sleeves, collar, etc. An actual cape. IHC Bruce has a prototype cape that doubles as an innocuous coat. Lead shielding, heavy but worth it, and not just for Superman reasons, field-grade insulation above what a typical wool coat already offers, which is a decent amount if you can find 100% wool. A bulky coat conceals your shape easily so it can hide bandages or emphasize, de-emphasize musculature, etc.